Hey everyone, welcome to another Angry Artist podcast. The idea of originality is often debated, and there seems to be a lot of views when it comes to what makes something more original than another. Everyone really has their own opinions of what is original or not, and a lot of cases when we are trying to be artists, we have to really think about it. How do we really break down the idea of originality in an objective manner and apply it into our work? Now, again, everyone has their own views, but I wanted to just put my 2 cents on the table and see if people understand and maybe perhaps they can learn something from it. I think we've all heard by now that in today's fast moving media world, it is very hard to be truly original anymore. The rate of media creation nowadays is so high that ideas are being conceived and executed very rapidly. Now, understandably, it was happening for quite a while. However, with the advent of the internet and other technological advances, that is even more so. It's compounded. We are able to distribute media so quickly as they are being created, especially in the free world market. So what I mean by that is, okay, let's think of the 1950s. Let's say you have a great idea for a show. You would probably have to write the script and get a bunch of middlemen in order to execute your script. And that's assuming they approve of it. And then it would have to be played in local theaters, and that's really the extent of your scope of your work, potentially. Now, in today's media, you could reasonably create a show, and then you just put it on your blog, and perhaps people get hits on it, put on YouTube, get more hits on it, and that can be done at your own little home. Without middlemen filtering ideas, we have an astronomical amount of media being created, and without any filters, which means that, in a way, with 7 billion people on our planet, inevitably, if they were all going to start making productions, it's hard to conceive that anything you do will be more original than the rest of the world. So this is really the argument that a lot of people who believe you cannot be original anymore will go to and then proceed to defend having very cliche ideas and not really trying to create something new. Now, I have to say I completely understand that perspective. It is very hard to think of something original. However, I'm going to put down my argument on the table. Sure, it is very easy to overlap other ideas if you were thinking one-dimensionally. So for instance, how many ways can you really do a cowboy movie? By now, we've really run the course of a lot of genres, and really, it's understandable. There's just so much media out there, as I said. However, when you start combining things together, that's when you create original ideas. I liken it to something like a driving license number. Sure, alphabet, there's only 26 letters and there's only 10 potential numbers for your license plate. However, when you have to start combining those digits and letters together, you will have a ton of combinations and have an original license number for your car. This is very similar to how media works. Now, that's not to say you wouldn't be able to create some amazing new genre right now for something that's new media, but chances are you can be more original if you were to combine established concepts. I'm going to give a few prominent examples in media that might really give you an idea of what I mean. So let's think of Star Wars, for instance. Now, it's easy to say when you look at the lightsabers and, Darth Vader, Luke Skywalker, and all the different species of aliens, we would think, hey, it's just a sci-fi movie, or franchise rather. However, when we really break it down, Star Wars is simply a drama with a bit of action, and it has a sci-fi skin. You could potentially just take all of the plot points and characters and change it to a different time, and it would still work. It is one of those franchises where I say the sci-fi part of it is really not the conclusive and decisive idea behind Star Wars. The technology is only there to make it more unique. It stands out more, but in reality, the characters and all of that, if you again bring it to a different time period, it would still stand. Hence, it's the space opera genre, which is a play of soap operas. Again, mixing two or more things together, you have a higher potential of creating something more original. Now, let's take those concepts and bring it to your artwork. Now, it's easy to think, oh boy, if I draw big eyes, small mouths, small noses, and big hair, that it will be anime. And sure, that's true. The iconic look of anime is having those types of proportions plus certain flat coloring styles. However, I'm sure you've seen by now a lot of people who take those types of proportions and bring them to a new type of painting style. That's really where I want to really talk about. It's the idea of taking something that's working, but giving a little bit twist to it. Even if it's not necessary, if you were to do it right and execute it properly, you can create a combo that is certainly more unique. For instance, in my own work, I like to combine anime, realism, and a huge dose of impressionism into my work. Now, that's not to say I'm the only one who's ever done it, but it's certainly less than if I were to just draw the typical anime style. Now, you could bring this to a ton of different genres and a ton of different styles. Because really, why stop there? Now you have to think of subject matter. Perhaps if you combine your style with subject matter that has never been done in your style, then you create something entirely new. So really, there are potentially infinite amount of combinations you can have when it comes to these sort of things. Again, having a different license number despite the fact that we're limited by how many letters and numbers we can have. So I urge you to try to take chances, try to mix things that you love together, and perhaps you create something that you are truly passionate in, and that it will also stand out. I feel the mentality that, hey, things just aren't never going to be original, so I'm not going to try, it's a little bit defeated. I feel it's still possible, and in fact, if you study some of your favorite professional artists, they would have probably brought something new to the table by combining the old genres together. Anyways, I hope that makes sense. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you next time.